Assalamualaikum class, my name is Hira Rafiq and the topic of my presentation is phylum Echinodermata. Hope you're well and doing great. This video is on the topic of echinoderm that contain instructive and educational content which is most shareable and easy to retrieve. So now let's start my presentation. Today I will discuss or explain the phylum Echinodermata. As their name indicates, the word is derived from the two terms echino and dermata. Echino means the spines and dermata means skin. Collectively, we can conclude that the animal with the spines on their skins included in this phylum. Some of the main characters of phylum Echinodermata is described here. First is the pentomerous radial symmetry. The pentomerous radial symmetry is follow a pattern where the part of the animal branch out into the 5 distinct compartments. Pentaradial symmetry is also known as the pentamerism or also referred to the number 5. The second character is the calcareous endoskeleton. As the endoskeleton is made up of the calcium carbonate, so that is why skeleton is known as the calcareous endoskeleton. This calcareous endoskeleton is formed of the calcareous elements that are embedded in the dermis of the body wall of echinoderms. They form part of the endoskeleton and provide the rigidity and protection. This skeleton is mainly present in all the members of this phylum Echinodermata like sea urchins, starfishes, sea cucumbers, crinoids, and brittle stars. About 700 living species has been discovered in all over the world. The water-vascular system in phylum Echinodermata is also known as the umbilical system. The umbilical system or water-vascular system is very unique to echinoderms and play the vital role in locomotion and in attachment to the substratum. This system also helps in the respiration. The next one is the reproduction. The reproduction is accompanied by both ways, sexual and asexual. The sexual reproduction in echinoderm is by the formation of larvae, and the asexual reproduction is followed by the regeneration, as the regeneration is the property to regenerate or retain their lost body part. Now the next character of the phylum Echinoderms is the body organization. The body organization is very uniquely spherical, elongated and the star-shaped body with the organ level of organization. Echinoderms are triploblastic organisms with a true phylum. The triploblastic body derived from the 3 embryonic cell layers, and these 3 embryonic cell layers are ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Their phylum, the body does not have segments and the leg, the head. They have calcareous endoskeleton and the surface of the body is covered with the calcareous spicules, which is made up of the calcium carbonate. The next and last character of the echinodermata is the body cavity. Body cavity of echinoderm is radially symmetrical body cavity which contain a system of water-filled canal called the water-vascular or umbilical system. It connects with the tube feet or podia, which are extension of the body wall that generally protrude through holes in the skeleton. By moving forward, now we discuss the classes of echinodermata. There are mainly 5 main classes of echinoderm. First class of echinodermata is class Asteroidea. Class Asteroidea include the sea stars and the starfishes. The second class is the class of Urchin, which includes the brittle star and the basket star. Third is the class Echinoidea, which possesses the sea urchins, heart urchins, and the sand dollars. The second last class is the Holothuroidea, which is also known as the holothurians because of the possessing members of holothurians are the sea cucumbers. The last class of echinodermata is the class Crinoidea that have the sea lilies and the feather stars. The next we will explain sequentially all the classes of echinodermata. First is the class Asteroidea, which is the class of phylum Echinodermata. It is also known as the true star because all the members of class Asteroidea are the true star. They possesses the pentamerous radial symmetry, star shape. That's why they're known as the true stars. The true stars or the members of class Asteroidea have the umbilical groove. The umbilical groove is a deep linear depression located in the ambulacrum in some echinoderms such as the starfish. The ambulacrum is an area in echinoderms that is marked by the calcareous plate or plates that are made up of the calcium carbonate and located over the radiant canals. The next property of class Asteroidea is the presence of the madreporite. The madreporite is mainly the opening which is made up of the calcium carbonate, like it is also a calcareous opening used to filter the water into the water vascular system of a echinoderm. It acts like a pressure equalizing. It is visible as a small red or yellow button-like structure on the aboidal surface of central disk of sea stars or other members. The third structure present in the Asteroidea member are the papillae. Papillae are the tiny dots on the surface of their body that contain the oxygen and nutrients for the starfish, like they use for their gaseous exchange or for the respiration also. The next is the feeding property or the feeding character of Asteroidea. They feed by protruding out their stomach portion or by expelling the stomach. We all know that the member of Asteroidea have the two parts of stomach. One is the pyloric stomach and the second is the cardiac stomach. The cardiac stomach is the part which is protruding out or move outside the body to capture the prey or ingest the prey, and then this prey or the nutritional part moves to the pyloric stomach and the digestion goes on. The next property is or the next structure present in the Asteroidea is tube feet. The tube feet present in the Asteroidea used for the locomotory purpose. These tube feet are small active tubular projection on the oral face of an echinoderm, whether the arm of a starfish or underside of the sea urchin, sand dollars, and sea cucumbers. They all have the tube feet on their surface. The tube feet help the echinoderms for their movement. This phylum uses the small tube feet that are powered by the water vascular system in order to move around. The reproduction in class Asteroidea is also carried out by sexually and asexually both manners. Sexual reproduction is again by the formation of gametes, larva and then adult, and the asexual reproduction is accompanied by the regeneration. Next is the anatomy of asteroids or the member of Asteroidea like starfishes. The internal structure of starfish is described here below. This diagram shows some of the structure we have studied here. First is the madreporite. Madreporite is the calcareous opening which is used to filter the water for the water vascular system. The other structure is present is the tube feet. The tube feet have the two parts. First is the ampulla and the second is the podium. The ampulla is rounded circular portion and the podium is elongated portion. The ampulla and podium, they both are same structurally, but muscular differences are present in both of them. The ampulla have both circular and longitudinal muscle, but the podium only have the longitudinal muscles. The third one is the presence of the papillae. The papillae is present on their oral surface or the skin. These are the tiny dots on the body that are throughout the muscle layer, contains the oxygen and nutrition for the starfish. The second diagram explains the two main portions of the stomach, which is pyloric stomach and the cardiac stomach. We can see that the cardiac stomach is just before the pyloric stomach. So the cardiac stomach is used for protruding out, and the pyloric stomach is further used to carry out the prey and meant for the digestion. Cardiac stomach eat the food from outside the body and then move back. Cardiac stomach come back in the body and food is transferred to the pyloric stomach. Ampulla must have some of the sensory cells or the receptor organs that move the water into the tube feet. These tube feet operate through the hydraulic pressure. So the tube feet retain the hydraulic pressure. That is why the vascular system is known as the hydraulic system also. The gonads are present. Gonads are the reproductive glands. We all know that. That take parts in the reproduction, take parts in the sexual reproduction. The next class of phylum Echinodermata is the class of Urchin. The class of Urchin is further divided into the two orders, order Ophiurida, which include the brittle stars, and the order Jewelida, which include the basket stars. About 200,000 species have been discovered of class Ophiurida. The pedicellariae and branchi are absent in the members of class Ophiurida. What are the pedicellariae and branchi? These are the small wrench or claw-shaped appendages with the movable jaw that are the valves and commonly found in the echinoderms or the phylum Echinodermata. So these structures are not present in that class. Tube feet is also present in echinoderms, and these tube feet are used for the locomotory purpose as well as for vascular system. Filter feeders. The class of Urchin members are all filter feeders. Now what is filter feeding property? Some echinoderms are sessile, some are filter feeders, while others activity hunt their prey. While some filter feeders direct food to their mouth and some protruding out or pushing their stomach outside of their body to feed on prey. The next property is the reproduction. They can reproduce bisexually and asexually in both manners. The sexual reproduction accompanied or ended up by the formation of larva, and the larva is Ophiopluteus larva. The asexual reproduction carried out by the unique phenomena which is the autotomy. The autotomy is also a type of the regeneration, but it refers to the adaptive detachment of animal body part where this serves a defensive function. They cut their part and escape from the surface. The next and last property of class of Urchin is the excretory system. The excretory system is use both of the structure, tube feet and the bursae. Now, what are the bursae? Bursae are the new and unique structure present in their central disc. These are the specialized sacs, pouch-like structure used for the gaseous exchange as well as the excretion. Here is the classification of class of Urchin. The kingdom is Animalia, phylum is Echinodermata. The subclass of this belonging phylum is Asterozoa. Class is Ophiurida, and the order in which we have divided this class is the Ophiurida and Jewelida. In the next slide, we will explain both of the orders of class Ophiurida. first order of class of Uroidea is order Ophiurida, and the next order is order Uolida. The order Ophiurida includes the brittle stars. All the brittle stars have the pentaradial symmetry, and these are the true fishes. They are also known as the snake star and the serpent star. Why these are known as the snake star and serpent star? Because they move by the wriggling motion as the snake moves. Like their locomotory structure, which are their arms, wriggling motion. The next one is the bursae for the respiration. Bursae, we know that the gaseous exchange or for the respiration, these are the small pouch-like structure. Multiple madreporites are present on the oral surface. Digestive glands are also present in the central disc. They move rapidly by wriggling their arms. The hooks and the coils are not present, and the branching in their arms are also absent. They have the vertebral ossicles, which are made up of the calcium carbonate or the internal skeleton, calcareous endoskeleton. These members or brittle stars are mostly found in the Arctic, Antarctic, and deep seas. Most of the brittle star or the order Ophiurida, they most prey on worms, crustaceans, and the planktons, and these all are scavengers. When we talk about the order Uolida or the basket star, these arms are forked and branched. They move flexibly, and their arms are more branched and dichotomously branching. They form the bunch or the whorl of their arms and act like the tentacles. Order Uolida is referred as the Shetland Argus. What is Shetland Argus? The Shetland Argus is the loosely twisted for waving and used for the locomotion or the movement. This skin possesses external ossicles, which are granules, and the scales. The madreporites are present, that may be multiple or one. The arms contains the plates, lateral plate, ventral plate, and the dorsal plate, but only the lateral plates are present in basket star, and ventral and dorsal are absent. The order Uolida or the basket star members are found in the deep water seas. Next is some diagrammatic explanation of that phylum Ophiuroidea. The first diagram shows the bursae or bursal slit, madreporite, some jaws, and mouth. Now the first, we can see the bursa and the bursal slits present on their mouth, on the oral surface, and oral side of the arm are present, opening for the respiratory bursa. These are the specialized sacs or the pouch-like structure for the gaseous exchange. The next structure which is shown in that diagram is the umbilical plates. Umbilical plates have pair of the perforation for the tube feet, and each pore serves for the tube feet. The next diagram mainly show the property of order Ophiurida, which are also known as the serpent star or the snake star. They have the central disc, and all the organs are present in that disc, and this disc is made up of the calcium carbonate and have the all internal structures. The third one diagram show the relationship between the soft corals and the brittle stars, which is the symbiotic relationship. Like they both live in a symbiotic relationship and depends on each other. Fourth and last one is very important structure or the bunch of the arms. We can see that their arms are branching dichotomously, and multiple branching are present and form the whorl or a bunch of these branches. So that is why they're known as the Shetland Argus. Shetland Argus, they loosely twisted with each other with each arm, or act like the tentacles used for the mode of locomotion. Now the next class of phylum Echinodermata is the third class, Echinoidea. Class Echinoidea. Class Echinoidea includes the member of sea urchins, heart urchins, and sand dollars. They have the rigid skeleton, which is called the test, made up of the sternum. Their members made up of the 5 umbilical plates and 5 interumbilical plates. These 5 umbilical players used for the tube feet and interumbilical players for spine articulation. Mouth is present on the bottom and anus is present on top of the organism. The shape of sea urchins, heart urchin, and sand dollars is the sea urchins are rounded shape and the heart urchin are the heart shape organism, but these are not true heart shape. A groove is present in the center that defines their heart shape physical appearance. The sand dollars white in color, but when they are alive, they covered with the spines and have the brown or purple color. The pedicellidea is present in class Echinoidea, used to clean the debris. These are the groove hollow structure which are used to inject into the prey to paralyze or seize. Another important structure or the apparatus present in Echinoidea member is the Aristotle lantern. This is the complex dental apparatus which is venomous, used to capture the prey or paralyze the prey. They feed on the algae, planktons, and all other small organisms in the water. They have spines on their surface which also contains the venom or the poison. The water-filled tube feet also present in class Echinoidea, used for the locomotion. The gills are present for the respiratory purpose, and the external fertilization is dioecious. Like hermaphrodite, they are hermaphrodite. And the larva in this class is known as the Echinopluteus larva. The next is the life cycle or the reproductive cycle of class Echinoidea, that how the larva of your Echinopluteus larva is formed. So the first is adult, which is dioecious. This adult is transformed into the embryo or by the sexual reproduction, formation of gametes and zygote transformed into the embryo. By the morphogenesis, this embryo converted into the larva at their juvenile stage. After some maturity, some physiological changes, this juvenile stage larva converted into the adult again, and the cycle goes on. The next is the picture of heart urchins, sea urchins, and the sand dollars. The first diagram of white color is the heart urchin. As we can see that they have the groove in the center, which made is a heart-shaped structure. So this is not a true heart, but a heart-shaped appearance. The type of sea urchin's heart-shaped body is elongated and the mouth opening is also present. They live in the burrows, long tentacles to trap, and the most common जो heart urchin है which is found is the Echinocardium caudatum. The next one is the sea urchin. They have the clear front end, which is mouth, and back end, which is anus. Some species of the slate sea urchins used in the aquarium. They control the growth of the algae. The symmetry is not obvious in living, but it is definitely visible in that species. This diagram is the view of sand dollars. The sand dollars, also known as the sand biscuits, like their shape is known as the beautifully biscuit-like. So they are called the irregular echinoids. Flattened shape, altered symmetry. Living sand dollars and sea urchins, spiny skins and tubular fields are present. but they are much harder to see because of the smaller size. The next class of phylum Echinodermata is class HOLOTHUROIDEA. The class HOLOTHUROIDEA includes the members of sea cucumbers or holothurians. They have the leathery skins, they are marine, elongated body, and they have the branched gonad. The sea cucumber or the holothurians vary in color from black, brown, and olive green. The largest sea cucumbers have the diameter of 24 cm. They also possess the pentaradial symmetry and are the deuterostomes. The mouth and anus are present on the opposite ends. Tentacles are also present in the sea cucumbers for means of locomotion or for attachment surfaces and vascular system also. The respiratory tree is present in this class used for the gaseous exchange or mode of respiration. The respiratory tree have the hollow branch organ that lie within the body cavity alongside of the intestine. This is the respiratory tree. The larva which is formed in this class is known as the planktotrophic or lecithotrophic larva, and this larva undergoes from many stages. The first stage is the auricularia, the second one is the doliolaria, the third is the vitelliaria, and the fourth is the pentactular larva. This pentactular larva undergoes some physiological internal changes and transform into the adult larva, which is the planktotrophic or the lecithotrophic larva. The last property or last character of class Holothuroidea is the cloaca or the anal breathing. Like the cloaca present in these members of sea cucumbers used for the breathing. Sea cucumber breathe by expanding the cloaca, which draw the oxygenated water into the anus and called as a anal breathing. The next is the mode of movement in the Holothuroidea. They crawl by using the podia or the body muscles, and for the creeping purpose they use the tripedium, papillae for the swimming, and all these structure used for their locomotory purpose. Communication channels in Holothuria are the special or the unique pheromones that are excreted out from the tentacles to attract their prey or for the sexual reproduction. The food habits are they feed on the planktivore and detritivore. They ingest the prey from mouth and then move to the intestine, and all the digestion is moved in. The next is the respiratory tree. Respiratory tree is also present in this for the gaseous exchange or for the respiratory purpose. These tubules have some sticky substances on their edges, or that's why these are the sticky tubules at larval stages found on the respiratory tree. The last one is the anti-predator defense property of these holothurians. Like they show the defensive mechanism against their prey or against their predator like humans, fishes, crustaceans. So that was all about the holothurian. The next is the diagrammatic representation of holothurians or the internal structures present in that. As we can see that the tentacles are present on the top or the mouth area. These tentacles also bears the podia or the false feet. These buccal podia are present, which are used to trap the material from water, then move to the tentacles and so on to the pharynx. The next structure you can see is aquapharyngeal bulb. This aquapharyngeal bulb used to draw up the food particles and some of the sea water. Here in the end, a respiratory tree and the cloaca is present. A respiratory tree we know as use for the respiratory purpose or for the breathing purpose, they use these hollow branch organs which lie in the body cavity alongside of the intestine. That is the respiratory tree. And the last one is the cloaca. This cloaca in the sea cucumber is known as the anal breathing, because sea cucumber breathe by expanding the cloaca, which draw oxygenated water into the anal opening. That is why they call anal breathing. The next diagram didn't show anything important, but the mouth opening, the tube fields, and the leathery body and the tentacles and all that. One of other structure present is the gonad, which is the sexual structure or important in the reproduction. Mesentery and terminates to the outside of the body, gonopore near the mouth. Like this gonad leads to the gonopore, which is present near the mouth. The next class of phylum Echinodermata is the class Crinoidea. The class Crinoidea includes the two members, which are sea lilies and feather stars. So they both have many differentiation. So that's why we will discuss both of them in the respective manners. First of all, I will give you the view of sea lilies. The sea lilies are the flower-shaped body attached with the stalk, and they are present in the deep water forms. The calyx or the body disc contains the calcareous layers, like this is also made up of the calcium carbonate. They possesses the pentaradial symmetry. Pinnules are present in sea lilies. Crown is made up of the calyx and the arms. The stalk may bear cirri, like the stalk is present for the attachment side, but it is not definitely possible the cirri is present. The next is the feather star. When we talk about the feather star, the main difference between the sea lilies and feather star is that the sea lilies possesses or that contains the stalk for the attachment side, but the feather star, it lacks the stalk. But they also attach with the surface by means of the cirri. It definitely bears the cirri, but not stalk. The feather star have a long branched arm, the adult and free moving. They may be sessile and may be motile. They lack the stalk and they bear the cirri for capturing of prey. These members of class Crinoidea called as the comatulates because they belong to the order of Comatulida. And these feather stars inhabit into the shallow water. This is how we can explain the difference between the sea lilies and the feather star. We can see that sea lilies bears the stalk, but the feather star didn't have any stalk but cirri. The cirri is present in that area for the attachment side, but the sea lilies have a long stalk for their attachment with the substrate or the prey for different purposes. So that is the physical difference between both of them, both of the members. The first diagram shows the structure of sea lilies. The pinnules. Pinnules are the lateral division of arm stalk. These are the small fin-like appendages which are used for the filtration. The calyx is also present in that area, and the cirri are surrounded the stalk. The cirri are the group of 5 which are attached to the stalk, provide the support and anchoring to that stalk, and have the developed nervous system. The second diagram is of the feather stars. We know that they don't have the stalk but they bear the cirri. The cirri is present and they form the crown shaped structure And this crown-shaped structure or the cup-shaped structure present in the central body and known as the thesa, it have the set of 5 arms which are branched, feathery. Mouth and anus is also present in this area, crown area. Here, here we can see that cirri are present as the attachment purpose, and these are the pinnules present on the arms for the filtration. This is mainly the anatomy of these feather stars and the sea lilies or the class Crinoidea. We can see that the mouth and anus is present, the arms and the pinnules, which are lateral divisions of these arms. That was all about the class Crinoidea. I hope you all understand, and that was all about my topic. Thank you so much for listening.